is Amar Urhekar. As you know, I'm the CEO at Avalere Health. I've been with Avalere for over 2 years now, and I'm a pharmacist by education, never practiced as a pharmacist. That was my contribution in saving lives back then in the community, but then quickly got into all things creative strategy in the marketing communications world, and then focusing on healthcare for the last 2.5 decades or so.
Welcome to the Next Marketing with AJ Season 2, where we decode insights one episode at a time. Today I have with me Amar Urhekar, who's a dear friend who I know for, I don't know how many years, maybe 10, 20, maybe more. Don't even want to count. Welcome, Amar. Thank you so much for coming to the show.
Not at all, Harshit. Thank you.
Today's episode, we want to focus on leading the age of AI. Yeah, you know, AI is everywhere. Everyone keeps talking about AI. Every morning we wake up, we see something new has happened. In AI. Sometimes it becomes difficult to catch up. So I ask my ChatGPT what new has happened today. To find out, to just catch up with that. But I think what is coming as part of that also, that when we lead large organizations, how do we use AI and not use AI, especially the nuances, to kind of continue that relationship with people. Right? Somehow I feel that relationship of people within the organizations we are losing. Like, for example, when social media came in, I used to call that as anti-social media.
Right.
Because I know everything that is happening in my friend's life. But we don't realize that we have not met that person for years. Like when we met last night for dinner, we had to think. It's been 2 years that we have not met, but we know everything about each other.
Right.
So it's not social, right? It's an anti-social media.
Right.
So is AI similar? What do you think?
I don't think so. I get your point on antisocial, but I'm also of a firm believer that with advent of every technology and every upgradation in technological developments, the societal norms change and they evolve, right? I'm quite excited to just be a witness to this journey of how the human race changes. The way our parents express their emotions to us as kids is different than the way we express our emotions to our kids. And that way, the way we express our emotions as friends is different how our next generation expresses their emotions. And what will happen next? Is it a degradation? Is it a difference? Is it something new? Who knows?
And I know you have spoken a lot about radical empathy and human first leadership, right? So in a world which is so rapidly changing with AI, which we have been talking, as a leader, like, how do we ensure that empathy does not get lost?
Absolutely.
Because emotions, empathy, they're important. And if you completely wipe it out from the ecosystem,
right,
there won't be a difference between humans and robots.
No.
I think that's what differentiates us.
100% it does. And so I've always spoken about radical empathy in the context of healthcare, Now, what I'm excited about is, does AI help healthcare expand and narrow at the same time, right? So what I mean by that is, today the inequalities in clinical trials, the inequality, healthcare in general is a happenstance. Depending on which country you are in, which province you are in, which city you are in, what kind of care you get, what kind of diagnosis you get, what kind of access you get to drugs and stuff like that. There are so many variables that will decide the future, or that will define the outcome of your health problem right now. So can AI actually take those variables out, and then irrespective of where you are in which part of the planet, your diagnosis and your prescription and therefore your healthcare will have a high level of standardization. And that, to my mind, is a different version of radical empathy, because now no patient is left behind.
How do we use empathy, I think, from a doctor-patient relationship coming to more of an organization relationship between a manager and an employee, or an employee or an employer? How do we continue having that empathy? So how do we continue, or how do we build up on the empathy when the dependence on technology will grow even more, when the distances will grow?
So it goes back to the human instinct of intent, right? An AI agent or a bot is not interested in your success. It's interested in providing you a service that you are demanding from it, right? But as a leader, my job is to be able to serve the people. So providing a service and serving the people are two different things in my mind. I'm invested in my team's success. I'm invested in my team's life and what happens at work and outside of it. I don't think a bot or an AI agent is ever going to solve it, right? So we have, as leaders, it's on us now to over-index on that human aspect, or that genuinely intending to be invested in somebody else's success. I think it'll be incumbent on us to judge our intentions as leaders and make sure that we stay invested in the success of the teams that you work with. And it's internal, but at the same time, it's about same with the patients.
You have traveled across the globe. How many countries? 100?
More around that, yeah.
And you have lived in so many countries. So any experiences or any learnings, how to cope up with this innovation or speed of change?
And every time I have seen that there isn't enough resources or enough bandwidth, people are far more innovative and far more daring or willing to take a risk and willing to take the leap that will create a breakthrough solution. So how can we then learn from each other's, where the developed economies have standardized processes and a standard way of getting things done, whereas the developing economies are like hungrier, scrappier, and willing to cut corners to get to the goal faster. I think a good combination of that is probably what we need.
So I've been talking about relationships, right? How they can be potentially impacted. Right? Who else, right, would be impacted with AI? Right? Lot of talks around, lot of jobs will be lost. I see a lot of big technology companies of letting go of people because they're using AI more. Who do you think is at risk?
I think fundamentally, again, I don't want to over sensationalize this about suddenly all humans are going to be out of jobs because bots are going to take over. Who knows? That might happen. I hope not, right? But history is a good predictor of the future. And we've been at these junctions or these junctures in the past too. And what we've really seen is that any person who is not willing to learn and unlearn and not ready to adapt is going to be left behind. The big difference this time is they're going to be left behind really, really fast.
So how are you using AI at Avalere Health for your customers, for your employees?
Yeah. So there are a couple of things in play for us. One is we're trying to get the basics right. So anything that can improve productivity for all our employees, whether it's through the different exposure to the large language models, subscriptions, so on and so forth. So all that is in place. So the basic efficiency, productivity drive is full on, right? And at the same time, across all our businesses in advisory, medical, and marketing, we have 2 or 3 key, what we call are the moonshot projects for us to say, how can we proactively invest into something that's going to help us do our business in a very, very different way?
In healthcare, have you seen a lot of innovations using AI coming up, or this is again stuck in adoption like it has been for all the other revolutions that happened in the past?
I think it is not stuck, but it is also not at the same speed at which everything else has happened, right? I go back to the point about how can AI help us build predictability faster, right? As people, as humans, if you look at the consumer goods or technology or any other sectors, from the way we use our toothpastes to cars to technology, that customer-centric experience has gone another level with the use of AI. That I don't see the same reflecting in healthcare, whether it is in terms of the way we are providing solutions to our clients or even the way the clients are expecting us to evolve. I think the pace is a little bit slower.
Is it again resistance or some fear?
I don't know whether it's resistance or fear, but it's definitely a certain level of caution. One, because fundamentally we are dealing with people's lives. We're dealing with patients' lives. So sure, we need to do this with speed and, integrity and all of that. And I think the balancing of that is always going to be a little bit difficult. Ordinarily, if the adoption of the pharma cycle would have been 3 years in general, I think AI will take it down to a year and a half or 1 year. So it will be faster, but definitely not still at the same pace.
This thing, the leaders stuck in their own beliefs. Right? So, what is one thing that they could unlearn to start adopting AI? Because again, it's kind of deja vu. That's how if I replace AI with digital, it was the same conversation like probably over a decade ago.
Yeah. I think the unlearning part is to change the risk appetite, and that is an industry at large issue. Can pharma fundamentally have a higher risk appetite? And I think it's a difficult one to change. And that's because you're really dealing with patients' lives. So while there is a little bit of a frustration on why we are not adopting to it fast enough, there might be a wisdom in hindsight that thank God we didn't do it that way, because for the speed of change, even if one life is lost, Harshit, that will be far too much of a price to pay.
At Docare, like we often look at these problems, and one of the problems we recently looked at is affordability.
Yeah.
Right. That 90% people in America are not able to afford medicines. All the manufacturers wants to support it, and they have so many affordability programs that they provide. Right. But still the utilization of those programs is less than 10%, like abysmally low. Correct. Like it is so contradicting that people are not able to afford. Right. Manufacturers want to help them to afford, but still the match is not happening. Right? Can AI help in addressing that?
100%. I think AI will help in addressing that is when the cost of the drug changes because of the processes behind the drug discovery and manufacturing is enabled by AI to make it cheaper, right? Whether it's the inequalities in clinical trials right now, can AI change that? If that happens, then you have different clinical outcomes from a CRO perspective. Yeah. So you're talking to a broader healthcare audience, so access will be better. Can AI help in better manufacturing models that reduces the cost? And then, of course, at some point, regulations will have to come in play. Otherwise, we will still be making more profits and not reaching out to more people. It's the job of the entire ecosystem, right? Including the platforms like Docare or services like Avalere, the other networks, the other companies. Say, how can we genuinely try and bring those costs down, make an impact, and be human about it?
Yeah. So let's move to the second part of the episode, which is a rapid fire round. Okay. So just like any other talk show, so I'll ask you a series of questions, and you have to respond to the first thing that comes in your mind. Okay. You can't think. Okay. You can't use AI.
Okay.
So it's human intelligence this time.
Well, it's diminishing by the day, but I'll try my best.
So it's a test for that.
Sure.
Right. So there are 5 questions. So I'll start. So what's the first AI tool you touch after waking up?
I don't.
Okay. Will it change?
Yes, it will change.
One daily ritual that keeps you empathetic as a leader?
It's to remind myself on why am I getting out of the bed to do what I'm doing.
So the non-negotiable rule one must follow when using AI?
Unlearn. If you want to learn more about how AI is going to change your life or the way you work, you have to unlearn the things you've learned in the last 20 years.
Best thing to do.
Absolutely.
What matters the most to you? Perfect data or perfect timing?
Perfect data with a perfect timing. In what context, right? It goes back to the intent that I spoke about. If you are using it in the right context to make the right impact, chicken and an egg, doesn't matter.
What's your AI tool recommendation for young leaders? Now, there can't be a tool for unlearning.
Don't restrict yourself to one tool, because the speed at which AI and the evolution of AI is happening, these tools are also going to be equally redundant as fast as some of our thinking is going to be. So keep expanding your toolkit.
So we have a gift for you.
Okay, very good.
We created this gift by learning more about you. You might use or need this.
Oh, very good. Thank you.
It's for you.
Am I okay to open this?
No, you can open it later. So the next part of today's episode is the next marketing table's turn.
Okay.
So now you have the privilege to become the host. So this becomes the next marketing with Amar now.
Okay.
Right. So,
well, welcome to the next marketing show with Amar Urhekar from Avalere Health. My question to the ultra successful entrepreneurial visionary Harshit Jain is, what if AI was not there or not developing at the speed at which it is developing? What would be Docare's strategy to provide the solutions that you're doing?
See, at Docare, I think we have been It's been 5 years now. We celebrated our 5th-year anniversary just a few days ago. And our belief is to solve real problems, right, using technology. So technology is just an enabler for us. Thinking is our people.
Yeah.
Right. And AI to us is another technology that is helping us solve the problems of real people.
Right.
Right. So if AI wasn't there, we'll probably be using more of HI, right, which is human intelligence, or even Harshit's intelligence.
Well, I would rely more on Harshit's intelligence. Harshit, what are the conversations at home with your young son? He's 9 now?
He's
10,
9 now.
9? Yeah.
Time flies.
What are the AI conversations with Lavik?
I learn a lot from him about AI, because this generation is AI first. He doesn't use search. All his searches go on ChatGPT
Yeah.
or any other LLM models. Recently, I learned from him about ethical use of AI.
Right.
And that was a very interesting conversation. He was making a poster for his student council elections where he wanted to contest for the post of a digital secretary.
Okay.
He made a poster and I was making some recommendations, and I used Gemini to recreate that poster for him. And he outrightly declined it. I can't use this because that's not the ethical use of AI. To do my homework, I need to do it myself.
Yeah.
And I thought about it, right? It's so important. Otherwise, if they're learning, everything is being done by ChatGPT, they won't learn anything.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, that goes back to our point of unlearning, right? And this is how, when we listen to the generation that is using the same tools in a different context, we'll unlearn and we learn new things. I have one more question for you, Harshit, if you don't mind, is what's your favorite AI tool and why?
So my favorite AI tool. So I like exploring things. I use, I think, a lot of AI tools which I use and I want our teams to use. So all of our teams at Docere, they have been using different tools to improve their efficiencies, to simplify what they're doing.
Right.
Like our engineering team uses coding tools, and they say they have improved their performance by over 50%. Right? Our creative teams use for writing, for building creatives. I'm a believer of technology and I use these tools across, but using with HI more than AI.
So human in the loop and Harshit in the loop.
Right? No, thank you for asking those thoughtful questions. Moving to the third part of the episode, we call it the next marketing playbook. Right? So it's a playbook that we're trying to create with advice and recommendations and wisdom from leaders like all of you that can help young leaders grow and learn, not unlearn, learn new things. Right? So I have two questions that I would ask you that will go as part of the playbook that we will create for young leaders. Right? So if a leader is afraid of using AI, where should he begin?
Ask ChatGPT. Jokes aside, I think if a leader is afraid, try and do a course that you feel you need to be aware of or to acclimatize. And it could be really as simple as how to use ChatGPT more efficiently. I mean, experiment with prompts that will help you learn things better.
What's one leadership practice you swear by that AI can never replace?
Talking to people of all ages, all cultures, all religions, all geographies, AI will never give you that feeling that you get when you listen to other humans. The twinkle in the eye, the teardrop in somebody's eyes when they're expressing a point of view or a success story or a failure. So for me, the fundamental thing is the human connection.
Any key takeaways for people?
I think the key takeaways for me, Harshit, is back to some of the fundamentals, right? Like I said, for us to learn how AI is going to help revolutionize human life in the context of health, we have to unlearn a few things. You have to make space in your mind, in your brain, in your heart to be able to adapt to new things. So that would be my first request and a recommendation to a lot of our leaders, a lot of people who are in important positions of influence, is to say, what are you ready to unlearn so that you can learn a few more things? My second aspect is AI. I'm very excited about all things AI because it is closest to helping me bring the radical empathy concept to life. Because I think, as I said, healthcare is a happenstance, depending on which country, territory, health system, doctor, nurse you meet. If AI takes that unpredictability out and helps us have more predictable outcomes from diagnosis to figuring out what the solutions could be, that is what I'm really most excited about. And the third point that we spoke about is, if the back end infrastructure of what it takes to make a medicine or a health intervention to solve a health problem, whether it's manufacturing, whether it's clinical research, whether it's commercialization services like us, if that back-end infrastructure uses AI to reduce costs, to make it more efficient, from a time and a price perspective, then I think our vision of making every patient possible, there's a fighting chance for us to be successful with that. So that's what really I'm excited about,
So unlearning, empathy, and HR, right? So
100%.
Three things.
Yeah, thank you so much for coming on the show.
Really appreciate it.
Thanks a lot.
One last thing, signatures and the Polaroid.